My sister has mirrored every decision I've made since we were teenagers. I finally snapped when she made an announcement at my engagement party. Now my family says I ruined the happiest day of her life, and I'm questioning everything I thought I knew about our relationship. Throwaway account because half my family has read it, and this situation has completely destroyed my relationships with people I love. I'm sitting here at 3 a.m. unable to sleep, replaying everything that happened, and I genuinely cannot tell anymore if I'm the villain or the victim in this story. I need outside perspectives from people who don't know us, because everyone in my life has already chosen sides and I'm drowning in the conflict. This is going to be extremely long because the context matters. The pattern goes back over a decade, and without understanding the full history, what happened at my engagement party might seem like I overreacted. But I promise you, by the end of this, you'll understand why I finally broke. The beginning, when the pattern started. I'm Meadow, 31F, and my sister is Sage, 28F. We're 3 years apart, and yes, our parents were very into nature names. Growing up, we had a relatively normal sister relationship. The typical childhood stuff, fighting over toys, stealing each other's clothes, occasional teamwork against our parents. Nothing unusual. Sage was always the more outgoing one, the popular one, the one everyone loved immediately. I was quieter, more bookish, more in my own world. The copying started when I was about 17 and Sage was 14. I'd gotten really passionate about painting, specifically watercolors. I spent all my free time painting landscapes, and I was actually getting pretty good. Started selling some pieces at local art markets, even got a few commissions. It was my thing, the first thing I'd ever felt truly confident about. Within 2 months of me really committing to it, Sage suddenly discovered she always wanted to paint. Got herself a watercolor set, the same brand I used, which she asked me about extensively. Started painting the same subjects I did, mountains, forests, coastlines. Even started using similar color palettes. When I pointed out that it felt like she was copying me, she got upset. You don't own painting, Meadow. I'm allowed to have the same hobbies as you. Stop being so possessive. My parents agreed with her. It's sweet that you girls share an interest. Maybe you can paint together. I felt weird about it, but couldn't quite articulate why. She was right. I didn't own watercolor painting. Maybe it was just coincidence. Maybe I'd influenced her, and that was a good thing. Then I went to college. I'd been passionate about marine biology since I was about 13, obsessed with the ocean, with ecosystems, with conservation. I chose a school specifically for their marine bio program. It was the thing I'd been working toward for years. Sage was still in high school when I started college. When it came time for her to apply to schools 2 years later, guess what she decided she wanted to study? Marine biology. Not just the same field, she applied to several of the same schools I'd looked at. When I asked her why marine bio, she said, "You made it look so interesting." I never really thought about what I wanted to study, but watching you get so passionate about the ocean made me realize I love it too. My parents were thrilled. Both our girls are going to be marine biologists. Maybe you'll even work together someday. Research partners. I felt that same uneasy feeling, but stronger now. Because this wasn't just a hobby anymore. This was my career path, my future, my identity. But how could I tell my teenage sister she wasn't allowed to study what she wanted? That felt cruel and controlling. So I said nothing. College years, the pattern deepens. Sage ended up going to a different school than mine for undergrad, which was a relief. But the copying continued in other ways. I studied abroad in Australia during my junior year, a semester at a marine research station on the Great Barrier Reef. It was transformative, life-changing, the best experience of my life. When Sage was a junior, she studied abroad in Australia. Same program, same research station. I got really into freediving and got my certification. 6 months later, Sage got certified. I started a blog about ocean conservation and sustainability. A few months later, Sage started a blog with a very similar name and almost identical content themes. Every time I brought it up, I got the same response. We have similar interests. That's normal for sisters. Stop trying to gatekeep everything. And maybe she was right. Maybe I was being territorial. Maybe I was being paranoid. But then it expanded beyond career stuff. The boyfriend situation. When I was 25, I met Finn at a marine conservation conference. He was a wildlife photographer who specialized in underwater photography. We hit it off immediately, shared passion for the ocean, similar values around conservation, easy chemistry. We started dating, and it was serious pretty quickly. I introduced Finn to my family at Thanksgiving that year. He and Sage seemed to get along fine, friendly, normal sibling-partner interactions. Finn had a roommate and colleague named Hayes. Hayes was also a wildlife photographer, also did underwater work, also was at that same conservation conference where Finn and I met. I'd met Hayes several times, he was a nice guy, but I'd never really hung out with him one-on-one. 3 months after Thanksgiving, Sage called me excited. She'd started dating someone, a wildlife photographer she'd met at a photography exhibit. His name was Hayes. The same Hayes. Finn's roommate and colleague. "What are the odds?" she squealed on the phone. "We can double date now. It'll be so fun." I felt sick. But what could I say? I didn't own Hayes. I'd never dated him. He was allowed to date my sister. It was technically just a coincidence that he was Finn's best friend and roommate. Except it didn't feel like coincidence. It felt like Sage had identified someone in my boyfriend's immediate circle and pursued him specifically. When I mentioned my discomfort to Finn, he said, Hayes said Sage reached out to him on Instagram after Thanksgiving. Started commenting on his photos, asking about his work. He thought she was just friendly at first, but she kept engaging and eventually asked him to get coffee. So she pursued him? I mean, yeah. Hayes said he thought it was a little strange, but she was cute and seemed cool, so he went with it. I tried to talk to Sage about it. Don't you think it's weird that you're dating Finn's roommate? Like, of all the people in this city, you happen to end up with someone from my boyfriend's household. Are you seriously gatekeeping potential boyfriends now? I can't date someone because he knows Finn? That's insane, Meadow. I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying it feels like a pattern. What pattern? That we have similar taste? That we're both attracted to people who work in conservation and photography? We were raised by the same parents with the same values. Of course we're going to be attracted to similar people. My parents, once again, thought it was wonderful. You girls can double date. How special. Finn and I did end up doing some double dates with Sage and Hayes. They were awkward. I couldn't shake the feeling that Sage was studying my relationship, taking notes on how Finn and I interacted, mirroring our dynamic in her relationship with Hayes. Finn and I dated for 2 years. We broke up when I was 27. It was mutual and amicable. We wanted different things long-term. He wanted to travel constantly for work. I wanted to eventually settle and start a family. It was sad but healthy. We remained friendly. Sage and Hayes broke up 2 weeks after Finn and I did. It didn't feel right without you and Finn together, Sage told me on the phone, crying. Like, our whole dynamic was based on all of us being friends, and without that, it just didn't work. That statement bothered me for weeks. Her relationship with Hayes was based on our relationship with them, not on her actual connection with Hayes. The career mirror. After my master's degree, I got a job at a prestigious marine research institute in California. It was my dream job, working on coral reef restoration, doing field work, publishing research. I was thriving. Sage finished her master's a year after me. She applied to dozens of places, including, you guessed it, the same institute where I worked. Wouldn't it be amazing if we worked together? She said when she told me she'd applied. Sage, no. Please don't do this. This is my workplace. The one place that's mine. You don't own the institute. It's one of the best places in our field. Of course I'm going to apply there. There are other great institutes. There are hundreds of places you could work that aren't my exact workplace. So, you want me to limit my career options because you can't handle us working together? That's really selfish, Meadow. She didn't get the job, thank God. She ended up at a different institute across the country. I was relieved. Finally, some distance. Finally, our lives were diverging. That lasted about 18 months. The move. I met River when I was 29. He was a sustainable architecture designer, passionate about environmental issues, kind and thoughtful, and absolutely perfect for me. We fell hard, and fast. Within a year, we were talking about marriage, looking at houses together, planning a future. River and I decided to move to Portland. He'd gotten an amazing job opportunity there, and I was able to transfer within my organization to a Portland-based project. We were excited, new city, new adventure, building a life together.
We moved in July.
Got a beautiful craftsman house in a neighborhood we loved. Started settling in, making friends, exploring the city. In October, Sage called. I have news. I got a job offer in Portland. Isn't that crazy? I'll be moving in December. My stomach dropped. Portland? You're moving to Portland? Yeah. There's an amazing opportunity with a conservation nonprofit there. I couldn't pass it up. And now we'll be in the same city again. We can hang out all the time. Sage, please tell me you didn't take a job in Portland because River and I live here. Oh my God, Meadow. Not everything is about you. This is an amazing career opportunity. The fact that you live there is just a bonus. What organization?
She told me.
It was a well-respected nonprofit, but there were similar organizations in a dozen other cities. She'd chosen Portland specifically. When she moved in December, she got an apartment in our neighborhood. Not just the same city, the same neighborhood. 10 minutes walking from her house. The engagement. River proposed to me in March, right at the coast during a weekend trip. It was perfect. Sunset, private beach, everything I'd ever dreamed of. I was over the moon. We decided on a long engagement, wedding planned for a year and a half out because we wanted time to plan it right and save money. But we wanted to celebrate the engagement itself with a party. We planned an engagement party for May, rented out a beautiful venue, invited close friends and family, hired a caterer. It wasn't huge, about 60 people, but it was important to us. Our moment to celebrate with the people we loved. Sage was invited, obviously. She seemed happy for us, helped with some planning, gave input on decorations. She was being a good sister, or so I thought. The engagement party was on a Saturday evening. Beautiful weather, great food, everyone we loved in one place. River and I were circulating, talking to guests, accepting congratulations, feeling genuinely joyful. About an hour into the party, Sage clinked a glass to get everyone's attention. Can I have everyone's attention for just a minute? She called out. I figured she was going to give a toast. Sweet sister toast about how happy she was for us. I smiled at her, grateful. I have some news I want to share while we're all together, she continued. I wasn't sure when to announce this, but with everyone here celebrating love, it feels like the perfect moment. My smile started to falter. River's hand found mine. I'm engaged, Sage announced, holding up her left hand where a ring now sparkled. The room erupted in gasps and congratulations. People rushed toward her. I stood frozen. She was engaged. She'd gotten engaged and she'd announced it at MY engagement party. Hayes proposed last week, she was saying, beaming, surrounded by family. We've been back together for a few months, keeping it quiet, and he surprised me with a proposal. I'm so happy.
Hayes.
She'd gotten back together with Hayes, Finn's ex-roommate, the guy she'd pursued after meeting him through me, and he'd proposed, and she was announcing it at my engagement party. My mother was crying happy tears, hugging Sage. Both my girls engaged. I can't believe it. My aunt was squealing. A double wedding. You girls should have a double wedding. I looked at River. His face was hard, jaw clenched. He squeezed my hand. I pushed through the crowd to Sage. Can I talk to you? Privately? In a minute. Everyone wants to see my ring. Now, Sage. Something in my tone made her stop. We stepped into a hallway away from the party. What the fuck was that? I said, my voice shaking. What do you mean? I shared happy news. At MY engagement party. You announced your engagement at my engagement party. Everyone was already here. It seemed efficient. And everyone's so happy. This party is for River and me. This is our moment. Our celebration. And you just made it about you. I didn't make it about me. We can both be celebrated. There's enough happiness to go around. You couldn't wait one day? One single day? You couldn't announce this literally any other time? I've been engaged for a week, Meadow. I was excited. I wanted to share with family. Why are you being so selfish? I'm being selfish? You hijacked my engagement party. Hijacked? I shared good news. Why can't you just be happy for me? Because you've been copying my entire life for 15 years. My hobbies, my career, my boyfriend's social circle, my city, my neighborhood, and now you're getting engaged and announcing it at my engagement party. How can you not see how fucked up this is? Here we go again, she said, rolling her eyes. Everything's about you. I'm copying your life. It's all some big conspiracy. You're paranoid, Meadow. We're sisters. We have similar lives because we're similar people. That's normal. This isn't normal. Normal sisters don't announce their engagement at their sister's engagement party. I disagree. I think it's beautiful that we're both celebrating at the same time. You didn't even tell me you were back together with Hayes. We were keeping it private. And yes, we got back together a few months ago. We realized we made a mistake breaking up. We belong together. You got back together right after River, and I got engaged. That's coincidence. Is it? Is it really? She stared at me for a long moment. Then, you need therapy, Meadow. You need to work on these paranoid thoughts and this narcissism that makes you think everything I do is about you. I'm living my life. I'm allowed to be happy. I'm allowed to get engaged. And I'm allowed to share that with family. I heard footsteps. My mother appeared in the hallway. What's going on? People are asking where you both are. Meadow's upset that I announced my engagement, Sage said, her voice small and hurt. She says I ruined her party. My mother looked at me, disappointed. Meadow, really? You can't be happy for your sister? Mom, she announced her engagement at my engagement party. And it's wonderful. Both my daughters engaged. Everyone is thrilled. Why are you making this negative? Because it's my party. Mine and River's. This was supposed to be our day. It can be both your days. There's enough love to go around. Don't be petty. I'm not being petty. This is a pattern. Oh God, not this again, my mother sighed. Meadow, you need to let go of this idea that Sage is copying you. You're both adults making your own choices. Just because those choices sometimes align doesn't mean she's doing it to hurt you. She chose my engagement party to announce. She chose a moment when family was gathered to share happy news. That's practical and lovely. Now both of you come back to the party and celebrate together, as sisters should. She walked away. Sage gave me a look. Triumph? Sympathy? I couldn't tell, and followed Mom back to the party. I stood in that hallway trying not to cry. River found me a few minutes later. We're leaving, he said quietly. It's our party. And she made it about her. We're leaving. Let her have it. We left our own engagement party. Made excuses about me not feeling well. Went home, and I cried for 3 hours while River held me. The aftermath. The next day, my phone exploded. My mother, I can't believe you left your own party in a huff. So immature. You embarrassed me. My father, your mother is very upset. You need to apologize to Sage for trying to ruin her announcement. My aunt, both my nieces engaged. But Meadow, honey, you need to work on your jealousy issues. Sage posted on Instagram. Engaged to my best friend. So grateful to celebrate with family. Some people tried to bring negativity to the day, but I'm choosing to focus on love and joy. Red heart. The comments were full of congratulations and also things like don't let anyone dim your shine and rise above the haters. Everyone knew those were directed at me. I got texts and calls from family members telling me I'd overreacted, that I was being selfish, that I should be happy for Sage, that announcing at the party was efficient and sweet and brought the family together. A few people, River's family, my best friend Quinn, my cousin Aspen, understood why I was upset, but they were the minority. I tried to talk to Sage 3 days later. I called her and said, we need to talk about this pattern. Really talk about it. Because I can't keep doing this. There's nothing to talk about, she said. You're seeing patterns that don't exist. You need help, Meadow. Professional help. And until you get it and apologize for trying to ruin my engagement announcement, I don't want to talk to you. She hasn't spoken to me since. It's been 2 months. The current situation. My engagement, the one everyone was celebrating at the party, has been completely overshadowed by Sage's engagement. My mother is planning Sage's wedding with her. Intensive planning sessions. Shopping for dresses. They're having a destination wedding in Bali, which, by the way, is where River and I had talked about having ours before we decided on something local for budget reasons. When I try to talk about my wedding plans, my mother says she's too busy with Sage's wedding to focus on mine right now. You're doing a local wedding, that's easy. Sage's is complex with the travel and everything. Sage's wedding is in 8 months. Mine is in 10 months. 2 months after hers. My family keeps saying, "You'll have your moment too. Let Sage have hers right now. Stop trying to compete with her." I'm not trying to compete. I'm just trying to exist. To have one thing that's mine. River is furious on my behalf. He wants me to go no contact with Sage, maybe even with my parents. He says this is emotional abuse, and I deserve better. My therapist, yes, I started therapy after this, says Sage shows signs of having an identity disturbance and possibly some narcissistic traits, but she's careful not to diagnose. She says the pattern I'm describing is real and valid, that I'm not paranoid. But my entire family disagrees. According to them, I'm jealous, narcissistic, paranoid, unable to be happy for my sister, making everything about me mentally unwell. What I'm questioning. I lie awake at night replaying 15 years of this and asking myself, am I crazy? Is this all in my head? Is it possible that Sage genuinely just has similar interests to me? That she coincidentally wants to study what I study, date who I date or their friends, live where I live, and get engaged right after I do? Is it possible that announcing her engagement at my engagement party was just poor timing and not malicious? Is it possible that I'm so invested in being the first and the special one that I'm creating a narrative where Sage is the villain? Or is my gut right? Is this a 15-year pattern of identity theft? Of her living her life through mine? Of her needing to one-up me or match me or somehow merge our identities? My question's for you. Am I the asshole for confronting Sage at my engagement party? Should I have just smiled and shared the moment? Am I the asshole for being upset that she announced her engagement at my party? Is that really as terrible as I think it is? Or am I being petty? Am I the asshole for seeing a pattern here that my family insists doesn't exist? Should I apologize to keep the peace? Accept that this is just how things are? Or am I justified in being furious? In feeling like she's stolen something from me yet again? River says we should elope, cut out my family entirely, and start fresh without them.
Part of me wants that.
Part of me feels like that's giving up on people I love. I genuinely need outside perspectives. Because right now, I'm so confused and hurt and angry that I can't think straight. Everyone in my life has chosen sides. And I need someone neutral to tell me. ITA? Edit 1. A lot of people are asking about specific examples of the copying beyond what I mentioned. Here are more. I got a tattoo of a wave on my ribs. Sage got a near-identical tattoo. 6 months later, I cut my hair into a specific bob style. She got the same cut a month later. I started wearing a particular vintage style of clothing. She started dressing similarly. I adopted a rescue dog named Luna. She adopted a rescue dog 6 months later named Stella, moon and star theme. I started doing yoga and got into a specific studio. She joined the same studio. I got into natural skincare and started making my own products. She started doing the same. It's everything. Not just the big life stuff. Everything. Edit 2. Someone asked if Sage has her own interests that aren't related to mine. Honestly, I don't know. I used to think she did, but looking back, I can't think of a single major interest or hobby she has that didn't start with me doing it first. Maybe that's my perception being skewed, but I genuinely can't think of one. Edit 3. People are asking about Hayes. Does he know about the pattern? I don't think so. I think to him, Sage is just a woman he dated, broke up with, and got back together with. He doesn't see the bigger picture, because he wasn't around for the 15 years of copying. Edit 4. Multiple people have suggested Sage might have BPD or identity disturbance issues. I'm not qualified to diagnose, and honestly, I don't think armchair diagnosing helps. What I know is that her behavior feels unhealthy, and it's affecting my mental health. Edit 5. Why didn't you have someone remove her from the party? Because she's my sister, and we were surrounded by family who all think her announcement was sweet and lovely. If I'd tried to have her removed, I would have looked even worse. Edit 6. Someone asked what I want. I want Sage to admit there's a pattern. I want my family to see what I've been seeing for 15 years. I want to plan my wedding without it being overshadowed by hers. I want to not feel like everything I do will be copied, matched, or one-upped. I want my life to feel like mine. But I'm not going to get any of that. Final edit. I'm logging off now. The overwhelming consensus is NTA, with many of you sharing your own stories of copycat siblings. Thank you for validating that I'm not crazy, that this pattern is real. What I'm going to do: continue therapy to process this and set boundaries, plan my wedding with River, and focus on our joy, not on competing with Sage, limit contact with Sage, and possibly with my parents. Stop trying to make my family see the pattern. They either see it or they don't. Accept that some relationships may be permanently damaged by this. To Sage, if you're reading, I don't hate you. I don't even think you're doing this maliciously. I think you have issues with identity that need professional help. I hope you get that help. But I can't keep sacrificing my peace and my joy to maintain a relationship that hurts me. To everyone dealing with a copycat sibling or family member, document the pattern. Trust your gut. Set boundaries. You're not crazy. You're not narcissistic. You're allowed to have things that are yours. Thank you all.